Hello and welcome to Labour Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. On this week edition of the program, we'll be focusing on workers in the healthcare sector. We also have new stories for you. We will be right back.
The high rate of unemployment has got lawmakers concerned. Senator representing Ogun Central hopes that his bill, if passed and assented to, will address the high rate of unemployment and make crime unattractive to youths and also build their skills for economic development.
As we speak, more than 35% of the Nigerian youth are unemployed. Sometimes it depends on the statistics you are looking at. But one thing that is clear is this: there's no senator here who hasn't got unemployed youth in his family. There's no senator here that his constituents are not asking for employment. If we cannot even provide employment, what can we do in the interim? But even the National Assembly is not paying compile the mandatory legal obligation to pay them allowances. That for me is scandalous. And I'm sure, Mr. President, you are not aware of this, that this has been the tradition of previous senators, and we just roll on, not knowing that these companies we see here are not even paid.
In a similar development, a bill that will ensure proper documentation of domestic workers and employees to protect the workers' right and also ensure safety of their employers has killed second reading in the Senate.
This bill does not only seek to protect domestic workers, it will also protect the employers of domestic workers. Investigations have also shown that a significant percentage of gory crimes, such as kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, and highway robbery, have been traced to the connivance of domestic workers of their victims. In the light of the composite security challenges we face today as a nation, it is therefore imperative and critical for this 10th Senate to urgently assist the law enforcement agencies with potent legislations and legislative interventions such as this very critical bill.
With proper documentation, fingerprinting, and all that, it will be easy to identify, and they will also be cautious, knowing that they will be found if they commit any atrocity. So this is a very good bill.
This is the National Executive Council meeting of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria. At the meeting in Lagos, Organised Labour lamented that its members are complaining of the impact of the incessant fuel scarcity in the country. They called on the federal government to review activities of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL.
This is Somersault for a very long time. Call on Mr. President to put a searchlight on the NNPC Limited to unravel the mask behind all the fuel challenges we have. And we call on the federal government to expedite action. Socio-economic challenges is biting very hard. Accepted the fact that fuel subsidy should be removed. And we stood in defense of that. We entered agreement with the government for the release of CNG buses to ease transportation. But as we speak, instead of seeing the CNG buses, what we are seeing is a long queue in the filling station.
At the event, workers appreciated the federal government's effort towards enhancing welfare of civil servants in the country. The national president of the association, who is also the deputy president of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, wants state government to follow the lead by the federal government and increase the salary of their workers.
The informal economy feasts from the pay of the worker. The bank also feeds from the pay of the worker. It therefore means If government want to get the country out of the woods, there should be an enhanced pay for the workers.
Workers at the meeting were hopeful that the federal government, employers of labor, and union leaders will conclude negotiations for a new national minimum wage in good time. The International Labour Organization has renewed its commitment towards the advocacy of ensuring social justice is practiced across the world. As the world navigates through the complexities of climate change and the rapid evolution of the workplace due to technological advancement, these challenges have not only tested resilience, but has also underscored the indispensability of concerted effort and solidarity in promoting the welfare of workers across all sectors. ILO Governing Board Chair Richard Adejola spoke about the impact of Workers' Day celebration across the world and why social justice must be promoted at the workplace.
Workers' Day is so essential. It is to celebrate the efforts, I won't say use the word struggle, the effort of workers worldwide and then find a way to celebrate them and promote their rights, and then ensure also that we commemorate the movement. As it were, ILO itself is a very unique organization sitting on a tripartite arrangement, where you have the government, you have the workers themselves, and then the employers. Of course, government is also employer, but there is that understanding that we separate the government from the employers, as it were, when in most cases, government sometimes is not the largest employer of labor in some jurisdictions.
There are some communities in a whole primary healthcare. You will discover that there is only one midwife that is in that facility, only one midwife. And you can imagine in a facility, only one midwife. Delivery mostly comes in the night. Somebody could come, we could have 5 women, 10 women coming to give birth, and they must deliver. And it's just one midwife that will receive this delivery. In fact, let me even tell you the truth. Even in some federal health institutions, you discover that there are only 2 nurses on duty. And you see that you come in the morning, you take over. One nurse has delivered 10 mothers. So this is truly a big challenge to us in the profession, because the shortage of manpower is affecting even our output, and especially our mothers in the village who cannot access these experts available, at all time. It has a challenge. It has a way of affecting them. So that is why you discover that most of them will just decide to give birth at home, or they have this trained traditional birth attendants that they will just want to go there, because even when they go to the health facilities, the health personnel that are trained to do this are not even around. So it's a big challenge to us, and it's one of those that we are presented to the government to see a need to truly train midwives. We need them to invest in the midwives and nurses so that we can have more of nurses at home, and then even in the interior, not just within the township. Even if within the township they are already even going abroad, Japaning, you can imagine what is happening even in the interior. So we need more nurses and midwives, because what we have now cannot cover the needs of the nation.
If we need to improve the healthcare system of the country, then we need to look at the critical sector of the healthcare workforce, nurses. A lot of attention needs to be given to their training first. The schools need to be equipped, whether they are state government schools, federal government schools, or whether they are private. Government need to invest a lot in the resources for the training of nurses. Then they need to improve the employment of nurses also in the healthcare system. They need to improve their remuneration, place them properly, pay them accordingly. Nurses are running out of the country now to other countries. Where are they running? It is because the condition of service and the pay outside the country is more than what they are taking. So that is why they are going there. So if you improve your pay and the condition of service you are giving them, none of them will want to leave. You will be surprised that nurses in Niger, Benin Republic, Togo, and some close countries here are being paid higher than the nurses in Nigeria. So why wouldn't the nurse want to leave? To recruit enough to retain them. And the only way they can retain them is to make sure that they are paid well, what they are supposed to work with in the hospital is given to them, and then they are given the right place in the healthcare sector.
On the profile interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with the Deputy President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, who also doubles as the National President of the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria. He brings us up to speed on the challenges workers in the healthcare sector are faced with, and also preferred solution to some of the challenges. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much, Sharon.
Congratulations on winning the election and becoming the national president for the Medical and Health Workers Union.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Can you tell us what should members of the Medical and Health Workers Union be expecting from your leadership?
Well, let me start by appreciating the members of Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria across the country, particularly the over 300 delegates that converge across the country here in Abuja, precisely on 8th of March 2024 for the National Delegate Conference, which is one of the constitutional responsibilities of our union to elect new leadership and chart the way forward after every 4 years. So I want to thank them for finding me worthy in that capacity. Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, as one of the affiliates of the Nigerian Labour Congress, I think is one of the strong affiliates of the NLC. And I want to appreciate the founding fathers of the union for laying a solid foundation where all our predecessors have stepped in, and I want to assure them that I will continue from where they stop. I believe a lot of presidents and general secretaries have led the union, and they led the union very well, ranging from the improved welfare of our members and infrastructures and other union activities. So what the members of this great union expect from this leadership, the present leadership, is to consolidate on all the development and improvement by our predecessors, which I believe is one of the policy cardinal points of this administration too. Will consolidate and ensure improved welfare and rights of our members, particularly conducive atmosphere or conducive environment for work, improved salary, enhancement of their welfare, and so many development, including the infrastructures, because we were able to come across legacy projects, including the construction of a befitting cancer specialist hospital, which was not completed. And we cannot abandon that project. We'll consolidate on that to ensure that the project was completed and has come into use. We also have a proposed College of Health Science and Technology here in Abuja, which have not been started. We have the vision and mission, by the grace of God, to continue in that direction.
Talking about the welfare of workers in the medical and health sector, we know that the medical and health sector is one sector that has been affected by brain drain in recent times, because when people have actually relocated for greener pasture. How are your members responding to this?
Well, I think this has not only affected our members. The issue of brain drain cut across all professions in the health sector, including the medical doctors, including the nurses, including the lab scientists, pharmacists, and so on. So medical and health workers are not an exception. And I think the issue of brain drain is taken care of under the Joint Health Sector Union, which I'm privileged also to be the national chairman, and all other stakeholders are on it. I think it's important to put it on record that recently the leadership of the Joint Health Sector Union visited the Honorable Minister of Health, Professor Ali Pate, And one of the issues we discussed is the issue of brain drain. While we appreciate the federal government for giving waiver in the employment of health workers to address the issue of brain drain, rather also called going for greener pasture. So I think we also solicit that while using the waiver to employ workers, particularly in the health sector, it should be done with sincerity of purpose, meaning that it should cut across all the health workers, because it's not affecting only one profession, which he promised to take care of that. And we requested that the Federal Ministry of Health should ensure, especially in our federal health facilities, that due process was followed in terms of recruitment of new health workers that should cut across all the profession to have an improved, efficient and effective healthcare service delivery in the country.
Okay, you chaired a committee for the celebration of the May Day. Can you tell us what was the experience like and what was the aim? Would you say that the Labour Congress was able to achieve its aim?
Okay, well, let me thank the leadership of the TUC and NLC also for appointing me to chair the 2024 May Day Planning Committee, which is my first time of having this assignment. But despite all challenges, despite the current situation we find ourselves, I'm happy we have a successful May Day outing, because first and foremost, this May Day was rated as one of the best in terms of turnout of workers in the country, despite the fact that we are in a challenging period. Challenging period in the sense that the removal of fuel subsidy has affected the lifestyle of all the workers in this country. Despite the increased cost, where workers and other citizens of the country are buying fuel at the cost of 1,000 naira per liter, despite the removal of electricity tariff subsidy and increase in the tariff, and workers and the Nigerian citizens are paying for darkness. But people decided to come out en masse to celebrate the day. So I can say that this year's May Day was celebrated in a mixed reactions. Mixed reactions in the sense that it's our day, because we are celebrating the day because of the what the contributions our founding fathers have laid down for the development and improvement of workers across the globe. And at the same time, the Nigerian workers are faced with so many challenges, and they have the hope, particularly with the review of new national minimum wage, which have not seen the light of the day, because we have been anticipating that, but unfortunately, as I am part of the negotiating team, the negotiation is still ongoing, and the government alone cannot unilaterally pronounce a new national minimum wage. So the expectation from the workers of this country is very high. Although we have gone home with very demoralized, because there is not any peculiar pronouncement on the issue of the minimum wage, but I think it's a good one since we have celebrated the day healthy. So we thank God and we thank the Nigerian workers, and I want to wish all Nigerian workers a happy May Day.
Okay, still talking about minimum wage. The federal government announced 25% to 35% increase. Am I correct?
Yes.
So you work in the public service. You also double up as the deputy president of NLC. What will be your reaction towards the increment? Is it welcome? Does it forfeit the struggle for the negotiation for a new national minimum wage?
Well, I think during the speech of the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the president of the TUC, they make it categorically that Labour has rejected that increase because it's not a minimum wage. Minimum wage is a product of an act of parliament, because it is supposed to be reviewed every 5 years, and it has to go through the National Assembly for assent. But this time around, it's only the federal government that unilaterally said percentage increase in the pay. So I think the organized labor, which medical and health is an affiliate of it, has already made their position. We cannot digress from that position. So our position align with the position of the Nigerian Labour Congress, and we stand by the review of the new national minimum wage, which I am sure from the pronouncement or from the address of the leadership of the two labour centers, they gave from now to the end of May that pronouncement or the negotiation should be concluded, or the two labour centers cannot guarantee industrial harmony in the country. So I think we align ourselves with that position.
Okay, so moving forward, the Medical and Health Workers Union is faced with some challenges. Is there anyone you would like to highlight that you want the relevant authorities to do the needful to ensure that there's industrial harmony?
Yes, the challenges faced by the Medical and Health Workers Union is challenges that confront all other health sector unions under the Joint Health Sector Union, that is JOHESU, ranging from review of the consolidated health salary structure, which is a product of negotiation for the past 10 years. I have never seen a situation where struggle will be continuous for a decade, unless only in Nigeria. I think this issue has to be addressed once and for all. Then there is the payment of outstanding arrears for upward review of CONHES, which also affect our membership, which is very important. And there are so many other issues that was tabled before the Honorable Minister of Health by the Joint Health Sector Union, and we articulated all our issues under the Joint Health Sector Union, and we are pursuing it and will continue to pursue it.
Okay, still talking about the struggle for decent work across the globe. With the work hours, with the fact that we have there's this issue of workers being not adequate in terms of the number of persons that should attend to patients, what would be your message towards ensuring that decent work is promoted in the medical and health sector?
I think this is very important in terms of improved condition of work, and it's one of the issues we raised during our national delegate conference, where you can see that a health worker that is supposed to see let's say 20 or 30 patients per day was left with about 400 patients, which is very stressful. And healthcare delivery is very important, and before you take care of your patient, you need to be sound. You need to have a very conducive atmosphere for work. So I think it's very important, and we raised this issue during our national delegate conference. And we hope that the relevant authorities will try to address that, especially the issue of human resource. The issue of human resource is what creates all this. People are retiring from work, and the government is not employing to replace even those who have retired. So that is why the existing workers are overstretched. And at the same time, some are going out and leaving their work for greener pasture, and government is not also recruiting additional health workers to replace them. If I gave you the indices of those who flew this country out of Nigeria for in search of greener pasture in the last 2 to 3 years, you will say that it's not realistic. But that is the real thing, what is happening in the health sector in this country. So I think all stakeholders need to put heads together to address this issue, because at the end of the day, it was the patient that will be at risk, because somebody as a health worker that will be stressed can do anything and is dealing with human life. A single mistake can be able to make a loss of a human life. So I want to call on the relevant stakeholders to come together so that this issue of overstretching our members at the workplace should be addressed. And there is so many campaigns against decent work, and it's very paramount, especially by the international labor organizations, that every country should have a decent work. But unfortunately, that is not the issue in Nigeria.
Okay, talking about retirement age, what's the retirement age approved for workers in the medical and health sector, and how convinced are you that that should be the right age for retirement?
Well, still during this year's May Day celebration, the two labor centers of NLC and TUC has made case to federal government, and the leadership of the Joint Public Service Negotiation Council has also written to the Office of the Head of Service of the Federation with the need to increase the year of service of public workers in the country. And public workers, by extension, include all health workers. The last increase in the year of service from 60 to 65 years of age and 35 to 40 years of service was done to teachers and judiciary staff, I think, and recently to parliamentary staff. So there is an agitation that all other public servants in the country should also benefit from that. And the reason is that, like in the health sector, we have a lot of consultants, and there's no way you can become a consultant in a day. It has to take gradual time. And the others that are coming up need to have somebody who will train them to become to that position. So let others be recruited before the existing one will pass out. So I think there is need for an increase year of service from 60 to 65 years and from 35 to 40 years of service. This is one of our agitation.
Of what importance is this? Is it going to enhance productivity? Is it that we have lots of older people in the system and those that are coming in needs to be trained? What's the benefit of the government if they decide to raise the bar?
Yes, it will enhance productivity, and at the same time, because in service, experience matters. So also, especially in teaching hospitals, those consultants and those professionals are used to train the younger ones. So once they phase out and the younger ones were not recruited, I think there is a problem.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.